Here we go again. I just don't know how to stop. So forgive me for that. Now, I was telling you before how I've been conditioning my body, my mind, and my overall being. So I'm going to show you a little better than I can tell you. Bitch, I'm bony as skid as whatnot right now. And a lot of that comes from driving my body to the point of exhaustion. Yet, the condition that my body is in comes from years of working out, calisthenics, and discipline, not only in what I do, yet how I eat. So I'm going to give you a quick overview of what I'm talking about. Like I said, I'm bony as shit right now, but this is what goes into the conditioning that I'm talking about. And it's colder than a motherfucker, so I'm going to put my shirt on, so excuse me for a minute. But anyhow, I also gave you a quick preview of a couple books which may not have been that long in length, so you might not have got the full overview of the books that I was talking about. Them two books that I showed you, one of them was a collegiate dictionary, the other one was a Black Laws dictionary. Now, again, you got to excuse me to some extent because of the fact this is new to me. I ain't no public speaker or none of that, and I don't consider myself to be no leader, and I ain't looking for no followers. I'm saying I'm really just looking to enlighten you to a few things that you may be unprivileged or have not ran across yet. So that's the point of these videos. Again, I ain't Minister Farrakhan, I ain't the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I'm not the father of Clarence 13X of law. Yet, I have run across these brothers in my search, and some of the things that they had to say was bone-chilling and revealing, and allowed me to understand who I am. Get your ass down. So, what I'm saying to say is, for those of you that don't know my history, and what I'm saying like my folks, I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness, and this might come to a shock, and some of y'all like, oh, wait a second. Now, I ain't agree with some of the principles and the things that was being said in that. One of the things that I disagree with highly, and still to this day I find to be a problem to my understanding, or yet I ain't got the full grasp of understanding, yet I do to an extent, because this fellowshipping somebody can lead to a whole congregation disassociating themselves with an individual. And in doing that, that individual cannot come back into the folds of that congregation, though it is that we're supposed to bear witness to the truth, the fact that Jehovah is the most supreme God. There's only one God. Again, it's highly said or spoke upon that they are on the truth, and there is no truth other than what they talking about. To an extent, they have a point. I say that because that's what opened up my mind to do some of the things that I do. Now, along my journey, I done ran across Islam, and I've actively practiced Islamic principles. Now, one of the things that I can appreciate about Islam, Orthodox Islam, and that is which is widely practiced today. And the reason why it's practiced is because Malcolm X brought that to the forefront. Because at one point, and here in the wilderness of America, nobody knew about Islam other than what they call radical teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Now, even with that being said, there are some people, and there are historical facts to prove this. Some of it may seem mythical or whatever, magical, whatever. Again, I consider myself to be, now I ain't even considering myself to be, I know myself to be mathematics zigzag. Now, a lot of y'all might find that offensive. But at the same time when I say that, that don't mean that I consider myself your God. No, that only means that I'm able to identify with the fact that I can trace myself back to the tree from which I came. And if you ever read the Bible, then you would know that you have heard this before. And if you haven't read it, or you haven't seen it, or you have not come across it, I suggest that you go back to it. Because they say that every tree shall bear the fruit of its liking from that seed. And then when we talk about Adam, we say that he the original man, or the first man, or the father of us. Oh, yet that is a misunderstanding. Because yes, in the physical flesh, he is. And I say that to say this. He came from clay. Just like I came from dirt. One day I'm going to return to dirt. But who planted that motherfucking seed to bring his ass to life? Or to breathe breath into him? You know, that's all up to your own understanding. Uh-oh. We causing a disturbance and the motherfucker, a ripple effect is taking place. That light is, everything has a purpose for being and everything has a reason for being. Anyhow, yeah, I should change the light bulb. Point blank period. That's common sense, right? Common sense ain't common to everybody. Why I say that is because common ground is what allows us to grow and grow in one accord. Just like you might look at a relationship. Now, I might sound like I'm bouncing all over the place. Like I said, this shit is not simplistic. It is not that simple. So what it should be known and what we should come to realize and understand is everything is correlated. Whether you can place that to the core and relate it to apply it to your life, now that's something different. I'm looking to help you do just that. Because, again, I went from being a Jehovah's Witness to